Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And Australia versus Argentina this weekend. Both teams looking to bounce back, and unless to draw, one of them will bounce back from a pretty heavy defeat last weekend. Both teams shipping 40 points against Argentina and South Africa. Sorry, against New Zealand and South Africa, respectively. So it'll be interesting to see how they sort of respond. And I do think that Argentina maybe would have looked at the game last weekend and thought, well, in the second half we progressed quite a lot. I think Australia was a pretty forgettable game. I don't think there were too many moments where they can look back at that game and think we actually took a step forward and there was actually a couple of positives. So as a result, both teams have tweaked their sides quite a lot, and it'll be interesting to see how these changes do affect the team. And they look to sort of really start building up. As I said, most teams now, with the Southern Hemisphere, you've got about 5 games till the World Cup. Not a lot of time, but still a reasonable amount of time to be able to start getting things right. So before we look at the two teams, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Australia at home, so that'll give them a bit of a boost. And in terms of the team that they have announced, this is how they will line up at home. And I think it should be quite a boost for them. To be at home. So in the front row, same front row as last week. They did struggle a lot, but I think that they'll back themselves a lot more against this Argentinian front row. So James Slipper captains the side. No Michael Hooper this weekend, so no co-captain. He is the sole captain next to David Parecki and Alan Alatoa. In the second row, though, Richie Arnold has come in for Nick Frost. Drops out of the 23, which is quite a controversial selection. I'm a bit surprised about that one. I would have thought at the very least he would have dropped down to the bench. But Richie Arnold next to Will Skelton is an absolute huge lock pairing, and it'll be interesting to see how they get around the park this weekend. A very loose trio as well. Jed Holloway coming in for Tom Hooper, Fraser McWright coming in for Michael Hooper, and Rob Ballantini keeping his jersey. I've been pretty impressed by Fraser McWright when I've seen him play. So these two have got an opportunity now to sort of stake their claim for spots in the starting lineup under Eddie Jones. It's the same halfback pairing, Nick White and Craig Cooper. You got Bernard Foley, for example, playing in the Australia A this weekend, and Carter Gordon on the bench. So there are quite a few fly half options here, but at the moment, Eddie Jones very much backing Craig Cooper to be his number one and to be the fly half that's going to play the way that Australia want to play. In the centre, Sami Karevi does come in for Reece Hodge. He'll partner Nikitai, who I thought was probably the best Australian player on the field last weekend. One of the few players who I thought who actually did pitch up and didn't disgrace himself at all. And Marika Korobeti retains his spot, but Vinivalu has dropped out. And Mark Nawakanita-Waze comes in the number 14 jersey. Very exciting player. He's definitely one to watch. People were very surprised he wasn't starting last week or was involved in last week at all. But he does come into the side. Tom Wright keeps his spot in that fullback jersey. Then off the bench, it's pretty much a brand new bench and a 6-2 split as well, which is quite interesting. So Jordan Uelese does keep a spot. However, Angus Bell and Pone Famasiele, they come into the side. So 2 new props. And we'll get an opportunity. Matt Phillip comes into the side, as does Rob Liotta and Josh Kimini on debut, as they would say over in Australia. So 6-2 split, which means that Tate McDermott and Carter Gordon are the only backline cover. Carter Gordon, well, bit of I wouldn't say a dream debut, because he probably would have liked to have won the game last week, but to score on debut, and what a try it was as well, will be quite a nice moment for him. But also very interested to see how the very big Josh Kimini gets on this weekend. Well over 100 kg, standing at about 1.93. So yeah, very much going for. We heard that Ed Jones was talking about the whole sort of bomb squad approach, 6-2 split, and now we are going to see it. In terms of the Argentinians, this is how they will line up. Quite a few changes in amongst well, 2 sort of changes, big changes in the pack, and then a couple of changes, but important changes really. So Thomas Gallo and Julian Montoya did keep their spot. I thought Montoya was very good last weekend in a losing effort. Got around the park, made a lot of tackles. It is a new tight head in Francisco Gomez Cadela, who does start this weekend. The same lock pairing in Matias Alemana and Thomas Lavanini. Padre Batero keeps the number 7, but Jean-Martin Gonzalez shifts to number 8, which is interesting. And Santiago Grandona comes into the starting lineup. Rodrigo Bruni dropping down to the bench. They continue with Gonzalo Bertoneau and Santiago Carreras as the halfback pairing. Mateo Carreras also keeps his spot, but Geronimo De La Fuente has come in at inside centre, bringing a lot of experience, and he's next to Lucio Cinti, who shifts from inside centre to outside centre. Rodrigo Isgro also comes into the side, and Emiliano Baffelli will keep that 15 jersey, and he'll be hoping to do a lot more this weekend than he had last weekend. In terms of the bench, Augustin Creevy will continue to rack up his caps as he approaches that big number 100, first Argentinian player ever to do so when he does get there. Raul Tetas Chaparro comes onto the bench, and Eduardo Bello is the reserve tight head. You then got Lucas Paulo, Rodrigo Bruni, Lautaro Basilio Velez, Nicolas Sanchez, and Matias Moroni. So Moroni's dropping from the starting line to the bench. I was actually quite impressed with Nicolas Sanchez last weekend. We haven't seen him as much, as he sort of brings into the twilight of his career. So it was interesting to see how he actually did look quite good last weekend, and we all remember the iconic Nicolas Sanchez when he just couldn't do anything wrong at one stage back in the day. So it's very interesting to see what sort of role he'll play as the backup to Santiago Carreras during the World Cup. Those are the two teams. We will be live for the game, so do come and join us this weekend. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.